Hi everyone and welcome back to Sprinkle with Paper. Today I'm going to be sharing how to make this adorable first birthday cake topper using your Cricut machine and Cricut Design Space. Let's go on ahead and jump right in. The first thing we'll do is go to CricutDesignSpace.com and open up a new project. From here we'll select text and type in the word 1. We'll make the word larger so we have a better view of what we're working with, and we'll also change the text. I'm going to use the font October Twilight. October Twilight is a free font that you can find over at dafont.com. Now is the most important step when creating a cake topper. We're going to ungroup the letters so we can move each one individually, and we're going to make sure that each letter is touching and slightly overlapping. This is important because we want to make sure that the whole thing is going to cut as one single piece. So once we have all the letters the way that we want them, we'll select the whole word and click Weld. Now this next step is all going to depend on what size cake you're planning on having. I typically make all my cake toppers fit an 8-inch round cake. So for this particular cake topper, I'm going to make the width 6.5. I don't normally worry about the height of the cake topper, I mostly just worry about the width. Now that we have the word complete, I want to add some embellishments. I'm making this cake topper for a princess party, so I want to add a crown onto the O of the word 1. As you can see, there are a ton of crowns to choose from, but I'm looking for a crown that has a narrow base so it'll fit nicely on the letter O. I'll list the exact crown that I'm using down in the description box. So I really like the shape of this crown, but I'm not crazy about the top layer. So this is a super simple fix. I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to click on the little eye. So now it's going to hide the top layer. And I'm just left with the bottom layer, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Just a simple crown. So now that I have this, I'm just going to readjust it so it fits nicely on the O. I don't want the edges to be sticking off at all because I'm going to be welding the crown and the word together. So I'm just going to resize the crown until I like the way that it fits. And once I have it placed exactly where I want it, I will highlight the crown and the word 1 and select Weld. So now that I have the crown and the word, I really like the way that it's turning out, but I want to add some girly touches to it. So to do that, I'm just going to go over to Shapes and I'm going to click on the heart icon. So I'm going to use the heart as a cookie cutter. So basically, I'm just going to resize the heart and place it where I would like it. And then I'm going to select the word and the heart, highlight the whole thing, and I'm going to click on Slice. The slice tool is great because it, like I said, it works as a cookie cutter, so it's just going to cut the heart out exactly where I want it to be cut out. So now I can just remove the extra pieces, and I do want to add 2 more hearts, so I'm just going to take the leftover piece and I'm going to position it where I like. And an important thing to remember is when you're using the slice tool, you can only slice one thing at a time. So that's why I'm only slicing out 1 heart at a time instead of all 3. So I'll just place the heart where I would like it, select the whole thing and click slice, and then go on ahead and do that one more time until I have 3 hearts exactly where I want them. Now that I have all the hearts cut out, I do want to add something onto the little points of the crown. So I'm just going to go back over to Shapes and click on the circle. And then I'm going to resize it and I'm going to make it pretty small. I want these little circles to be pretty tiny. And then once I like the sizing, I'm going to duplicate it so all 3 of the points have the same size circle on them. So I'll place the circles where I would like them. And since I'm going to be welding instead of slicing, I can weld as many things as I like at once. With slicing, you could only slice one thing at a time, but welding, you could weld as many things as you'd like. So I'm just going to select the whole thing and click Weld. And now everything will be welded together, and this cake topper will cut as one single piece, which is exactly what we want. Now the last thing I'm going to do before cutting is I'm just going to recheck the size and make sure that nothing changed when I was slicing or welding. I want to make sure that the width is still 6.5 inches. Now that I've confirmed the size, I'll just go up and click Make It, and I'll prepare my mat for cutting. The paper I'll be using today to make my cake topper is the gold paper from Michaels, which is the Recollections brand. I always use the Recollections brand from Michael for cutting cake toppers because it's nice and sturdy, unlike the Cricut or paper from Hobby Lobby. So this is definitely the paper that I would recommend. And I also am going to make sure that I'm not cutting over the label. So the sticker on the back of the paper, I want to make sure I always place it down in the right-hand corner, and I always cut my cake toppers up in the left-hand corner, just to make sure that I'm not cutting over the sticker. I don't want that showing on the back of my cake topper. And since this mat is a little bit old, I'm going to be using some of this tape just to make sure that my paper doesn't move around while it's cutting. Now I'll just set my Cricut dial to custom, and I'm going to select the light chipboard for my cutting material. I find that the light chipboard cuts the glitter cardstock really nicely. While my cake topper is cutting, I'm going to prepare my stick. I buy my sticks at Hobby Lobby. I find that these are perfect for cake toppers because they're a lot smaller than the standard kebab sticks that you would get at the grocery store. So I like to spray paint the tops of my stick to match my cake toppers. So to do this, I just cover the bottom portion with masking tape so I can get a nice clean line and also don't get spray paint on the portion that's going to go into the cake. And I use the Krylon brand for all of my spray painting. Another great thing about the Krylon spray paint is that it dries super quick. So now that my cake topper is done cutting, my stick should now also be dry. So I can just go ahead and remove the tape, and now I'll have a nice clean line. And I love that this spray paint also matches the Recollections brand paper from Michaels perfectly. So gold can sometimes be a hard color to match, but these two work really nicely together. So now I'll just remove my cake topper from the mat, and I will figure out the placement of my stick. When choosing the placement for the stick, I like to put it somewhere as close to the middle of the cake topper as possible, just because I find that it makes the cake topper the most stable. So I'll use my hot glue gun to attach the stick, and I also always give my stick just a little half turn, just because I feel like it gives it a nice clean finish on the back. And then I'm just going to pull off any of the little hot glue strings and give it a second to dry. And there you have it, the perfect cake topper for a princess first birthday. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you love Cricut, make sure you subscribe. I'll be starting a whole new Cricut series next week that you will not want to miss. So thanks again for watching, everyone, and happy crafting.